And welcome into News Channel 11 at 5:30. I'm Sarah Diamond. Josh Smith is in Kingsport tonight. He will rejoin us in just a few minutes. Hey, April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and with the unusual circumstances of schools being closed for several weeks already, child advocates are concerned about a decrease of child abuse cases being reported since teachers are an essential part of the reporting process. Tennessee law mandates that anyone with knowledge of a case of child abuse is required to report it either by phone or online. And joining us live via Skype now to discuss the current increased risk of child abuse and neglect is Kristen Davis. She is the president and CEO of Prevent Child Abuse Tennessee. Kristen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to share.
Good. Okay, first off, let's start with how often abuse and neglect cases are reported by school officials.
Absolutely. So nationally, about 1 in 5 cases of child abuse is reported by a teacher. And if we really think about the exposure to kiddos outside of their home to people like educators, they are first responders in most cases and do make most of those reports. Only about 12% of reports of child abuse come from a family member inside the child's home. So we do know that the less the kids are being seen in their community, the higher risk that they are for not being reported, despite those mandates of everybody being a reporter in Tennessee. So it's really something that we're really thinking about, is how we can keep eyes on kids and really support families during this time, and realizing that, you know, families are really isolated, and now especially more than ever, families who are losing income because of lost wages and lost work and are home with their kids all the time, those stress levels really tend to increase after that. So you take a family that may have everyday stressors anyway, and of course compound it with quarantine, and things can really be extremely isolating and stressful for families. So being able to support them is really critical.
And that's what Governor Bill Lee had said. He said the social distancing that we're doing and staying out of school is really, in his words, creating the opportunity for collateral damage as far as child abuse or neglect is going. As a professional, how concerned are you that this is happening right now?
Well, you know, I think that it's very concerning when a family does have stress anyway and is isolated already. And then again, the collateral damage that occurs when a family is even further socially isolated, and all the stressors that parents deal with on a daily basis as it is, with things like homework and scheduling and juggling childcare, of course, are really heightened right now. So I know even for myself, a single parent of 2 young kids, it's a stressful time. And so it's really important for parents to remember to reach out to those support systems that they have, and for us to remember to check in on each other, check in on your neighbors, and check in on the other parents in your lives that you know may be having extra stressors right now, and have a listening ear for them. And as a parent, I know for me even, I need to step outside sometimes and take a breather, because things really can get very stressful very quickly. So there is a lot of collateral damage that can occur, but I think if we all remember to keep an eye on each other and support each other, it can really make a huge difference for the kids and the parents in our communities.
Kristen, who's required to report any cases of possible abuse and neglect, and who are they required to report it to?
Sure. In Tennessee, there is a law called a mandated reporting law. So that actually means that everybody is a mandated reporter of child abuse and neglect, no matter who you are, no matter if you are a teacher, a friend, a neighbor, a relative. We are all mandated reporters. And all of those reports go into the Department of Children's Services. And you can make confidential reports through their hotline or online, and they're the investigating body in our state.
All right, what can we do things that we can look for to make sure that children around us that we may see, of course, at a social distance and a safe distance away, what can we do to ensure that they are safe? What are some things we can look out for? And if we believe that there is a child being abused, what do we do?
Sure. So I'll actually start with parents. For ourselves, it is important to remember that we cannot be the perfect parent all the time. We cannot be everything to everybody. So if you are stressed or you need help or you need extra resources, you can call us 24/7. We have a parenting helpline that is operational 24/7 around the clock, 7 days a week. You can just dial 1-800-CHILDREN to get to us that way. It's a confidential line where we can really help problem solve and get access to resources. And that's a really great program to reach out to if you just need someone to listen or if you need a specific resource. And remember that nobody's a perfect parent and everybody needs help sometimes. So that line is available. If you are a neighbor or a friend or a relative and you are concerned about abuse happening in your neighborhood or in your family, you can make that report to the Department of Children's Services, and that number is 1-877-237-0004. And I would say just look out for families that for kids that really are even more increased in social isolation and may not have access to the things that they need. Or of course, if you see any visible things that look or indicate like a child is being neglected or physically abused, of course, make that phone call.
Kristen Davis, President and CEO of Prevent Child Abuse Tennessee, thank you so much for being here. A lot of great information.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. We'll be right back. Stay with us.